I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to my reaction for episode 10 of season 11 of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And let's just start by jumping into my reactions during the show. Oh, we're ready to Wizards of the Lost Kingdom. Jeez.
Dear TV's diary. TV, my love for Kinga burns with the intensity
help.
of that.
I've grown to like the robot roll call in the theater. I mean, they've been playing with the silhouettes more. I was so not used to that. I was like, that looks weird. Why can't we just see their faces? But I've grown to like it, I think.
Has Max been acting weird?
Is he ever not weird?
Why did they dub them people like 5 years older than them?
Gonzo.
Oh, I saw you drop the ring, but my spell.
What did you do?
Back. I don't know how it works. Goodbye, folks.
Yeah, he
Back to the York Peppermint Party. I get the sensation I'm transported to a distant memory.
What an idiot kid. He had that ring in his hand for 10 seconds.
Newsies on a mission. Fill the competition, so the next edition.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la, don't stop now. Don't have to hide it now. Come on and kiss the what?
The Little Princess.
My favorite book.
What a picture.
Whoa, a real on-camera explosion. No digital effects.
I like that Jonah has to
That
point
guy's
that
actually
out.
screaming because he almost got hurt. This is a real outtake.
Oh, wow.
I like that though. That Jonah loves practical effects so much. That's cool.
Oh man, no one even saw that I killed a fan and everything. No one was here.
Come on, lick it. First kill.
Ew.
Ugh.
Ugh.
And I really should wait for them. Your friends will be along soon.
He's like 13 and she's like
I'm
30.
getting so
Ugh.
much.
Garfunkel.
This is so weird. It's like 30-year-old ladies taking care of like 12-year-old boys like that. It's just creepy.
That was amazing.
Oh, please
Time
don't.
for your senior.
You said you loved me even if I gained weight and became a bum.
What?
And when we're done with them, I could always put them back.
Yeah, human souls are like tinker toys. You just put them back and keep playing.
Pick up your swords.
Arise from the compost pile.
Why would this kid have needed the ring in the first
Maybe they're
place?
100 years, but they're just lightly covered in topsoil.
If he's so powerful that he can literally raise the dead.
Yes, undead minions! Attack my enemies!
Oh, there's multiple crows
You
now?
guys are in but I was a bad boy and tampered in God's domain, and they turned out lame. I just want to raise an army of deadly zombies now! Now! Alright, pump the brakes there, Veruca Salt. Ruin another verse.
I will need a queen at my side.
No.
Medea is beginning to bore me.
Great, bring stepmother into this? That'll really warm me up.
Don't you think it'd be lovely to be the queen?
Could I wear
Someone did some shopping at Jim Henson's Creature Shop outlet.
But Kor the Conqueror versus 3 wicked-ass demon men? This is gonna be great.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm disappointed again.
Yeah.
My reputation precedes. He's a magician. How did he end up in that mess with the lizard nun?
Because his magic doesn't work outside of the pink stones.
Well, I ask a stupid question, I guess.
What were you doing?
Golfax must stay here while you face it. But I have a plan. We'll join you later when you need us most.
What?
Not a plan.
Yeah.
Golfax, you haven't protected me or done anything to further the plot or the action. I'll really miss you.
Completely useless.
I just realized why they called it a suicide cave.
Why is that?
Because I want to kill myself.
Oh my gosh.
Be careful so you don't go batty.
Here, let me give you a
Oh
hand.
my gosh.
Okay, that's it. I'm calling a moratorium on the Crypt Keeper impression.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're ruining this. Hey, I'm happy to report we started getting some letters from viewers.
Nice.
Didn't they have a letter in the very first one?
From some Canva. Give a still store.
Whoa, wee-wah. Man, he didn't draw your head big enough. Oh, come on.
Forrester and Frank, Crow and Tom, and I guess it's either Mike or Joel, and then plus Gypsy and Old Cambot.
Probably Mike, because it's a blue jumpsuit.
Every time we turn around, they're putting us in mind prisons and drawing pictures of it, and they're thinking they're so great.
Crow on second.
My Kermie.
It's always awkward to run into an ex.
Hi.
Honestly, I think she could do a lot.
It's a trap.
I have tested your manhood.
I feel so violated.
Tell my story!
Freddy, why do we bother?
Unfinished business, old man.
This one, the riffs were pretty good. The riffs were really good, pretty strong through most of it. A couple slow patches, but I mean, even the best episodes had that, so Riffing was really good, really strong, so I guess start with talking about that first. I love how Jonah loves those practical effects, and he was like, see, that actor almost got hurt, that was a real explosion, or it was in Land That Time Forgot, I think, where he was like, they're really throwing fire at those people, because the thing is, I can't talk like that sometimes. I'll be just like, oh, this practical effect is so cool, or oh man, that digital effect, you know how much work they had to put into these effects, so that I can highly relate to that. So that's fun. I like that they're keeping that like a running thing. A great moment in the theater where when they went into the suicide cave and Tom and Crow make all those Crypt Keeper jokes, and even I was kind of like, I think they did at least 4 or 5, and I was kind of like, okay guys, that's enough. So I like how Jonah was like, guys, stop, and they're like, no, and he just took and clanked their heads together. That was really good. I thought that was really funny. I'm super excited that they're doing the sequel. Some of my favorite episodes of the original Mystery Science are the sequel episodes. Fugitive Alien 2 is one of the best season 3 episodes in my opinion, so this should be really fun. Okay, let's get into the segments. I was so scared about the opening because it opened with TV's son of TV's Frank. Nothing came of it, which is kind of, I don't know whether to be like relieved or disappointed, because I was just like, no, I don't want you, like I don't want a whole episode with segments circling around the Mads. I'm trying so hard with them, guys. I really am. I really want to like them. And I've said, well, I don't know if I said this on this. I know I said it in the comments of one of my videos. It took me a while to even like Pearl and her crew. Eventually I did warm up to them, but it did take a long time. I didn't expect to like Jonah and these new bots this much, this fast. You know, it's like the bots, for whatever reason, except for Gypsy, but for Tom and Crow, the new voices haven't been that much of a problem for me. Overall, I've liked their new voices. I think they've worked fine. Jonah, I just really like. He just seems like a very earnest guy. Maybe all my enjoyment of the characters went to Jonah and the bots, so now I'm just like, I have none left for you, Mads. None. Because I didn't expect to, off the bat, I was like, yeah. Jonah also had the advantage that he was in the Riff Tracks Live Mystery Science reunion show. He was so good in that, and he just seemed like a really nice guy that was excited to be there but was also like equally nervous, and I was like, that guy seems nice and relatable. So and he has been in the show too, so I've really enjoyed him. The first full whole segment was one of those classic just oh, how do you think this has happened? It reminded me of, off the top of my head, the one from The Indestructible Man where they're like, what would you do if you were indestructible? It was like, how do you think he conquered all these people? And overall it was pretty boring, not much to it, not much that was that funny. The second segment was the song. I liked the 1950s vibe. It reminded me of Where Oh Werewolf when it started. I don't know, it just, it was fine for what it was. And for me, one of the things I figured that's kind of what kind of makes me think like about the song is Jonah's like the only one really singing it, and that's fine, but most of my favorite songs have like at least 2 of them singing, usually multiples, like singing the whole thing. And also most of the ones that are my favorite are much faster and more upbeat. So I think that was also a big problem, is I like it better when it's more ensemble. Like I said, I love the segments where it's a lot of them talking or connecting. I think the songs did that. Every Country Has a Monster did that. And I like the more upbeat, fun songs. Like I said, Where a Werewolf has the 50s vibe, but is faster. I think it was just kind of at a disadvantage for my taste from the start. Not that it's like, oh, it's super unfunny, or it's just not well done. It's just not done in the way that I usually like my Mystery Science songs to be done. The third segment was letters. They did a letter segment. Wasn't it like the very first episode they already had a letter? And I was like, whoa, I mean, I would have waited till at least the second to do a letter. Okay, I had a problem with that sketch. It's puppetry based. Surprise, surprise. Sometimes Crow gets really upset and lashes out, especially at the movie. I like that because that's a lot of what Bill did, and I think that worked and it was funny. I think Hampton makes it work. But there's something that Bill and especially Trace could really do with the Crow puppet, and that's make it actually look angry. Keep in mind, there's one guy who's not a puppeteer, okay? You have 3 people, guys. 3 puppeteers. But it still isn't that good. Like I said, there are mechanisms that don't work sometimes. Crow's mouth in the theater, Gypsy's mouth on the bridge. But in this one, it's like you had 3 guys and the working arms, and you couldn't make Crow look actually upset. If it was just Hampton doing it, if it was just him, I'd be like, yeah, it's his first season. I'm totally cool if it doesn't quite look upset, you know? If you go watch Bill's earliest stuff, it is super rough. So, so that's not it. But if you're gonna spend the time and money to get the professionals in there, and you're like, oh, Barron and Hampton can't do it by themselves because I don't even know why. I don't know why. So you hire these other 2 guys per puppet. With Tom, it's even more ridiculous, but and then you can't even make it look as good with 2 professional puppeteers plus the guy doing the voice. You cannot get it as good as one amateur guy did after like 2 seasons. They had it down so well. Like Bill, first of all, Bill's delivery was enough for you to be like, whoa, despite the visuals, but he was able to make it look upset enough. Trace, though, he just knew exactly how to place that puppet's head and eyes to make it look like it was so mad at you. If you're gonna pride yourself on the fact that you won't just let the new guys do it themselves, which I've gone on record saying this before, I believe. If it was just Hampton and Barron doing their characters, I would be okay with the crappiest puppetry in the world, because I just want their raw performances to come out, because I think that helps. But if you're gonna be like, no, we're doing professional puppeteers, that better be some friggin' good puppetry, guys, okay? It's not most of the time. It just boggles my mind. It's like, well, we can't just let them do it themselves. We gotta hire professionals, but it's still not gonna look that great. Then why didn't you just let them do it themselves? And I'm sorry, but that's just another quality problem that really, really irks me, because it could be so easily fixed, and I don't understand it. I don't understand that decision, and I never will. Ugh. In the ending, when they were just like, oh, we have our little play set, it's just something that they'd mentioned in the movie, I was like, okay, whatevs. And then the Mads being excited about the sequel, because I'm excited about the sequel. This would be another B+, I would say, because it had good riffing, couple slow spots, and pretty dang weak host segments. Every other episode, even some of the weakest ones, had at least one really, really good host segment, or at least really, really, one really, really good moment in a host segment. Even, I wasn't as huge a fan of Star Crash, but you had the Crow's screenplay. In the first one, we had Every Country Has a Monster, which is just still my favorite. It was so good. There's always something cute or something funny in the host segments. This one, I think, overall had just the weakest overall host segments, where it was consistently weak the whole episode. So it's a B+. If they had stronger segments, it might have gotten to A-, but host segments are important to me, so it's bumped down a little bit. But the riffing was definitely good, definitely solid. It was fun to see them take on a fantasy film. So I'm very excited to see the sequel, and I will be watching it right now, and you'll see that tomorrow. So as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.